Welcome back to the channel. I'm here to bring you an Orfist deck profile that I got second place with in the city this week. Went to 2 tournaments, one in next level on Thursday, had 5 rounds, and finishing record was 4-1, and I got second place in standings. On Sunday at CardQuest, I also achieved second place, 4 rounds, 16 players. My record was 3-1. While Bastion is still the best deck of the format, Orfist can exploit some of the weaknesses that the deck has, but overall it has a strong matchup against everything in the format, so it's a fantastic contender. Starting off, we have the ride line, we have our starter to get the draw when going second, we have our World Searcher, our second to gain 5k to a unit, which really helps out when you want to do early rush, if you want to set up 2 lines or triple attack, and then Orfist to generate your tokens, and you can get 5k on rear guard whether you have the first or second world. This only came up once or twice, I believe, during the entire tournament, where I needed to make an end game push and I committed it to a rear guard circle just to break 33k lines. Continuing with the deck profile, we have the 3 other copies of Orfist. And for grade 3s, I'm only playing 3 of the order. This is a nice removal target, but the problem is that this can't get rid of Fosato, this guy on screen. That is the only card that I can't target with it, and that is the most valuable target next to Alden or the dragon that allows Bastion to boost. And since this can only target front row, this isn't as valuable as I wish it could be. If this could kill anything, this would be a stronger card, but it's a necessary evil for me to achieve the turn 3 play of getting both worlds to make the tokens. For grade 2s, we have 4 of the order, 3 and then 1. So what I wanted to do is, this card is floating out a lot. This is very nice, and I was harsh on this card at first because you need both orders for this to become effective, which makes it a turn 3, turn 4 card, which at that point in the game, you don't need this because your board is already going to be full. Ideally, you're going to have either 2 columns that are going to break the 28k line, or you're going to have a back row of boosters with the shadow tokens. Your front row is going to be this to break 28, and this is very awkward for you to make a 25k line, which doesn't hit a magic number unless you hit triggers. This is a card that's been floating out. Originally, it was a 4th copy of the grade 3 order, but it was nice for the draw turn 3, even though I don't like it that much. Definitely I would take this out. For the grade 1s PG, this is self-explanatory. The secondary effect is nice and it really helps out. This countercharger is very weird. While it's being run at 4 copies because you're a Counterblast reliant deck, this only needs to resolve once for you to be able to use 6 Counterblast, 2 for Orfist, 1 for the grade 2, 1 for Toaster, and then 1 for Among Us. You can use this to rush early and have it be in the side lanes for you to pull it back. Good numbers turns 1, 2, and 3, but outside of that, it can be very clunky and get stuck in your hand, and you won't be able to call this without calling over a unit. Up next is the Toaster, and an important ruling question that we had during the tournament across the week and even after was that when you guard with us, since you have the 2 orders, you're going to be in Abyssal Dark Knight, which means you're only going to get the 10k shield. You will not be receiving the 5 and the 10 for this to make it a 20k shield. But this being a 15k shield is nice, considering that you have a lot less shield value in your deck overall, since most of the grade 1s and 2s are all 5ks, so this really helps up for your tankiness, especially in your Bastion matchup, since they're going to be breaking magic numbers, and this is going to help you reach those thresholds. For the rest of the grade 1s, I'm playing 3 copies of this and then 1 of the defensive Blitz order. This is a very important card since this can reach 10k, which makes it a effective attacker and booster. The way I played out every game was I hand to board and I just set up triple front wear, and I did not care for what my opponent did, whether they attacked the rears, whether they damage denied me, or whether they gave me the 2 counterblasts. If they did, then fantastic. These get pushed up to the front row. I set up triple shadow tokens, and then I can make a 25k lines. With Orfist, you need to play aggressive for you to push them to 3 damage turn 3. So when you get your shadow tokens, that will push them to 4, and the game state can be brought to 5 to 6 turns. The longer the game goes, the more room for error you have, and the more you're going to get out-tempoed by better decks like Bastion and Zorga. It was very important just to push people out of the game since that was the win con. And one copy of this, the grade 2 kaiju can be replaced, and you can run a second copy of this. When I was in finals in Card Quest, my opponent was playing a second copy of this. This is a fantastic card for the Bastion matchup, since this can 1-card guard if they attempt to break 40, which as a 1-card guard for Counterblast 2, it's justified. It makes me want to play this at 2 copies, and I'm going to experiment with the ratios and see what I can do. For the trigger lineup, I ended up making a mistake. So I have 8 crit, and originally I was playing 3 draw, and I put 1 front in at the last over trigger and 4 heal. Now, the mistake which I made before the tournament is I originally had 3 draw, and I was alternating between putting in the fronts or the draw triggers. Now I understand that I was going to just play 3 front since I had the playtesting and I had the experience, but I was very lucky to have this 1 front trigger be able to come up offensively and defensively to save me and my rear guards. Outside of that, I understand the validity between the draw triggers since I wanted to hand to board turns 1 and 2 to just push them in, and then if they respond correctly and take out my rear guards, the draw triggers could help me to recoup the advantage. But unfortunately, the low shield value for the draw triggers makes it a lot less valuable when fighting decks like Zorga and Bastion, or anything that can break magic numbers. The front triggers help offensively for you to break the 28k threshold, force the 2-card guard range, and defensively for the shield value, it's very good. And defensively, hitting it for damage checks is incredible because it's going to save you and your rears. One over trigger, of course, it came up 1 game. This might as well have been a crit and it had the same effect, but it was useful. And then 4 heals, of course, to make sure we stay on theme. And of course, shadow tokens. But thank you for watching the deck profile. Hope you found this interesting, and I'll come back with more deck profiles and updates because I have things I want to test out with this, and I'm interested to see what set 2 is going to bring to the current meta. So thank you very much for watching, and enjoy.